Okay, running back, Dave, the top 3 running backs. So Henderson and Michael Carter would be big priorities if available. But other than that, Jeff Wilson's one. Who's next?
If you need a running back and you miss on Jeff Wilson, I think you got to go to Rex Burkhead. And I know that that's gross, but he's someone who's going to play. Figure he'll get at least half the snaps in Houston. Last week, it was over 70% of the snaps. I think he'll help you get some fantasy points. I don't think you should expect a lot. After those two, Khalil Herbert's available in 53% of leagues. And he's actually my favorite if you don't need a running back anytime soon. I think he'll go for way less than Jeff Wilson. I think there's a chance he eventually takes over in Chicago. He's already working in tandem with David Montgomery in Chicago. He's absolutely maybe the best. He's the best player to go pick up off the waiver wire this week. If you won in week 1 and you love your starting lineup and you like most of the depth on your team.
That's Khalil Herbert. So Dave says Jeff Wilson, Rex Burkhead, Khalil Herbert. Jaylen Warren, where does he factor in there?
He's low for me because it looks like Najee's going to play. And even if Najee was out, Jamie talked about it. That offensive line was dreadful. So how good can an undrafted running back be behind that offensive line?
Another name to keep in mind is Jamal Williams.
Yep.
On Jamie's list, he's right there with Khalil Herbert.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess I want to ask you about Damian Williams, 23% rostered. When Tyler Algier was inactive, I think I saw a couple people, including Dave, pick up Damian Williams. And Williams got 2 of the first 3 carries for the Falcons. Then he got hurt, and Patterson ended up with 22 carries, which was a career high. But are we sleeping on Damian Williams, who I think he said that he feels like he'll play this week? But is that someone that we should be adding? Only 23% rostered and probably not on the minds of fantasy managers. Dave, what do you think about Damian Williams?
I don't think much of Damian Williams. I think if he plays, he'll take some work off of Cordarrelle Patterson. But I think the way that the dominoes fell in week 1 kind of proved to the Falcons that Patterson shouldn't be forgotten about. And they should use him as a huge part of their run game moving forward. And I'm sure they realize that. So Damian Williams, it would be stunning if they went to him for 50% of the work after what Patterson did. Plus, it's an impossible matchup this week against the Rams.
That's what I thought about the Saints. But they have the Bucks. Bucks, right?
Who?
Falcons?
The Falcons have the Rams.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, the Falcons have the Rams.
Falcons play the Rams this week.
The Saints have the Bucks. That's why I said that. I'm sorry about that. Okay. Because they had the Saints in week 1. And at running back, the names that we keep giving you in shallow leagues are Darrell Henderson and Michael Carter. Also, Alexander Mattison, Kenneth Gainwell, Isaiah Pacheco. These guys could all be available. They're 70% rostered or more, but they could be available in your league. What do you do real quick with Tyler Algier, 76% rostered?
I hold.
Yeah, I would hold him, especially if Williams is banged up.
But you drop him for Jeff Wilson, right?
1,000 billion%.
All right. Jeff Wilson is the top running back to add. Jaylen Warren is probably not going to get anything this week because it looks like Najee's going to play, but 2 foot injuries already for. By the way, I'm sorry. I feel like I should know this, but I haven't been able to find it. Is it the same foot for Najee Harris?
I don't think we've gotten an answer on that.
Okay. All right. So either way, this is a precarious situation here. So that's why Jaylen Warren.
At minimum, if you've got Najee, you need to get Jaylen Warren or have a lot of good running backs on your bench.
Other players we mentioned were Jamal Williams, Khalil Herbert, and Rex Burkhead. But we didn't mention Kenyon Drake, who completely outsnapped and outtouched Mike Davis. Didn't play well, but gets the Dolphins this week. Kenyon Drake, stash Brian Robinson. Rachaad White seems to be the clear number 2 for Tampa Bay. Dontrell Hilliard barely played, actually, and he caught 2 touchdowns against the Giants. You think McCaffrey can do something against the Giants this week? Maybe. Benjamin is the number 2 guy behind James Conner, but worth noting, and I don't know if you heard the show yesterday, everybody, but it's great stuff from Dan and Jacob. James Conner played almost every snap in the first 3 quarters. Benjamin got all of his work in garbage time. So yeah, I mean, Rex, who do you think you drop for Rex Burkhead? We probably, Dave, you mentioned him as one of your 3 favorites outside of Wilson and Warren. What would you
have to be a running back that I'm dropping for him?
No, I guess not. Would you
We've
drop?
got a whole cut list of players. Throw a name at me.
Kadarius Toney.
You could drop Toney. I don't want to drop Tony. He's on that list of guys that I don't want to drop, but I would if I really needed.
Especially with Wan'Dale hurt.
I think Wan'Dale's fine. I think I saw that he's day to day.
Dr. Azer.
Yeah, I looked at the scans. Seemed fine. Okay, and any interest in Zach Moss? By the way, he's 6% rostered.
Deep leagues.
He's interesting. I think deeper leagues. If you lost Mitchell and you're stuck, I should probably put him on the list. 6 catches is hard to overlook in that offense.
Mark Ingram, 49%.
Might not have 6 catches the rest of the year.
He might not, but he also might be great if Devin Singletary gets hurt.
Then he would have more than 6 catches. Who'd you say, Adam?
Ingram, 49% rostered.
Same thing. It's like there's a few guys. I could have made this list, 30 deep if I wanted to, just based on like you should add JD McKissick, you should add Jerick McKinnon, you should add all these guys because at some point they might have a role. It's just a matter of like how much you want fantasy managers turning over their roster. So
yeah.
If you're the Alvin Kamara owner, manager, knowing that he just got banged up a little bit, you want to pick up Mark Ingram, you probably should. If you're looking at some pass catching running backs that might have an opportunity, McKissick, McKinnon, those type of guys, sure. But what I try to do is make it the most relevant guys that I think should matter for this week. And so that's just my approach to it and how I would be adding these guys as well.
Yeah, I think the tough thing is if you're the Kamara manager, you don't really need a running back right now. Do you drop Mark Ingram for Rex Burkhead?
If I'm never playing Rex Burkhead, there's a much higher ceiling for Mark Ingram if he's a starter for the Saints than there is if Rex Burkhead is the feature guy for the Texans. So I'm probably.
But if I need a running back this week.
But that's what Adam said. He said if you don't need one.
Yeah, if you don't need one, then you hang on to Ingram. But
Right.
if you also don't need one, you should turn him into Khalil Herbert if you can.
But like that's a scenario where, for example, like I'm in one league where I don't need a running back and I'm going to be first on waivers because I had a terrible week 1. I'm picking up Jeff Wilson. I mean that's easy.
Right.